Good morning to all of you. This is Dr. Satya Prasad, Professor and Director of GT Group of Institution. Would like to share my observations regarding the preparation of the project report for higher education students, preferably UG and PG students, a common guidelines for preparation of the project. Before I go to the details about the project, I would like to identify a few items that are very essential to be discussed with you all. Number one is, what is the meaning of the project? See, for the past several decades, we were all studied only the theoretical portion of the subjects that are prescribed by the universities. We never touched the practicality and the research-oriented activities for decades together in higher education, especially in UG and PG level. But now, as the things are growing and the world is also changing, not only we need the theoretical knowledge, but also we need the practical exposure to the items what we have studied, to the subjects what we have studied for the BCom or BBM or BCA or any other degree which we are pursuing, and at the same time the MCom and MBA postgraduate students who are pursuing them either in the first year or in the second year, they have to do a practical project report. This project report consists of selecting a live case study of a company or a social living problem, in which whatever the theoretical knowledge you have learned over a period of 2 years or 3 years, that will be utilized for the purpose of identifying solution to the existing problems, finding some solutions, finding some new items in the field of economics, in the field of banking, and in the field of business. Therefore, a project is required, a research project is required. Now, what exactly the benefits that the students are going to get by doing the project? See, first and foremost thing is, you will develop the thinking ability, analytical ability, language capability, presentations, statistical analysis, writing skill, reading skill, editing skill, and presentation skills that you develop by doing the project. Now, what are the components of the project then? See, whole of the country, right from UG to PG, we have a standard format which will be followed by almost all the universities, traditional universities in the country. That format is, a project will have 80 to 90 or 100 pages project. Under that, the division will be made in the following manner. The total project consists of 5 chapters. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5. And Chapter 1 deals with introduction. Chapter 2 deals with research design. Chapter 3 deals with the profile of the company and profile of the respondents. Chapter 4 consists of analysis and interpretation, and Chapter 5 consists of summary of findings and recommendations. And later you will attach bibliography, annexures, so many other standard formalities that each university will prescribe that we have to compile with. Now, what exactly we have to write in the Chapter 1? Chapter 1 basically introductory topic. What exactly you mean by introductory topic? See, one of the most important item or job a researcher is supposed to do, a student is supposed to do, is identify the researchable subject, researchable topic, researchable problems. Now, how to search for the researchable problems? It is your own curiosity, your own interest, and your approach towards the economic problem, business problems, socio-economic related issues, and your intellectual curiosity will create such type of move in your mind to find out the project, find out the subject, and find out the broad area of the subject, and definitely a concrete title to the project. So therefore, in chapter 1, whatever you have selected as a research topic from a particular subject, say for example marketing, finance, HR, entrepreneurship and general administration, you select one topic, and that topic related areas, subject related areas must be written in the first chapter. This will give the confidence to the researcher that I have read and I am capable of doing the research. I know the background of the topic, the subject, and detailed information what is available in this area. So therefore, chapter 1 should be written with the support of internet, with the support of reference material, with the support of journals and various other printed materials that are available in the academic line that you can use. One of the most important items that you need to remember here is don't do cut and paste work. You need to do this work by taking the help of all these sources, write in your own sentences so that you can avoid the plagiarism problem in the end at the time of submission of the entire project. Therefore, you need to write your own sentences, your own paragraphs, your own original information in the first chapter. Out of 80 to 100 pages, generally you keep a margin of 20 to 25 pages to the project, and remaining pages, about 60 to 80 pages, could be made for the remaining part of the subject, the remaining part of the chapters. Now, what is the second chapter that we have? The second chapter we have is research design. How exactly this should be written and what are the contents of the research design chapter? Research design consists of 14 headings, remember, starting from introduction to the topic, statement of the problem, scope of the study, objectives of the study, methodology of research, sources of data collection, tools for data collection, review of the literature, operational definitions of the concepts, sampling technique, analysis and interpretation, limitations of the study, and hypothesis if any. This is the heart of the research project. In this 14 headings, you are going to give the direction to the reader of your project that what you have done in the research, what you have done in the project. The entire details will be available in the second chapter. If you are competent enough to write on your own, you write and show it to your guide, or with the discussion with the guide, you please enter into writing the second chapter, because it is to be discussed and then only written. How exactly this will proceed? Let me explain to you. Number 1, introduction. Introduction, what you have written in the first chapter, you condense that into 2-3 pages and you write it in the introductory introduction in the second chapter. Statement of the problem. You have given specific objectives for your research, and those objectives must be written in the form of paragraph, and in that paragraph you have to establish why you have taken this research topic. Then area under which you have covered your research work, scope of the study. Your research should cover these many boundaries, these many areas, these many period. And immediately after that, you write the objectives. How do you write the objectives? You have already selected the objective, and generally it is my suggestion to all of you is prepare the objectives in such a way that it should not cross more than 4. 4 objectives are ideal to the project work. Then methodology of research. You see, generally social science research always mainly depends on survey method, analytical method, descriptive study and a case study. These are the most popular 4 ways of doing the social science research. In pure science research, the different type of lab related experimentation will be done. On the basis of that, you prepare the project. But in our social science, especially in commerce and management studies, either you do the project on survey, or you do the project on case study, or you do the project on descriptive nature. But after finalizing the methodology research, you have to collect the data. So there are 2 types of data you are going to collect. One is primary data, another one is secondary data. Primary data will be collected from the market originally by you. Directly you are going to collect the information from the universe or from the economy or from the society. Secondary research, secondary sources refers to the material that you are going to collect from libraries or published sources, or a printed information is readily available to us that we are using. That is called as secondary data. Then coming to the subsequent item, tools for data collection. How exactly you are going to collect the information? Primary data will be collected through the questionnaire or the interview schedule. Secondary data will be collected through the magazines, published sources, bulletins, and the internet sources. You will download and you will get the data. On the basis of that, you will do the research. Then the review of the literature. Any researcher for that matter, he has to show that he has done the original research project. For that purpose, you have to make a browse of certain studies that are being made very recently with regard to your own area. And you have to claim that no one has done the research under this particular topic. Therefore, it is an original study of my own. That should be the claim that you should have in this particular 1 paragraph review of the literature. Then coming to the sampling technique. In case of sampling technique, what type of samples that you have selected for the purpose of collecting the information? Generally, convenient random sampling, simple random sampling, cluster sampling. These are the most popular way of taking the samples from the universe and you collect the data from them. So which method you are adapting, that method you write it very clearly here. To conduct this kind of a research, I have drawn this kind of a sample. I have taken the respondents from this method. That you have to explain in 1 paragraph. Then analysis and interpretation. See, you have prepared the topic, you have written the objectives, and you have prepared the questionnaire. How the questionnaire is prepared? Questionnaire is prepared based on the objectives. After creating the objectives, you have to select the variables in such a way, whatever the objectives that you have selected should be capable of generating some kind of variable, and that variable will be used for the purpose of analysis and interpretation. One variable will be invariably called as one question, and that question should be capable of or amenable to further research in the down the line. So as a result of that, 4 objectives means about 25 to 30 questions you select, and you sit with a guide. If it is possible, you do a pilot study and finalize the questionnaire and go to the field according to the sampling technique that you have selected. After collecting the data, tools for analysis and interpretation. Normally, in case of higher education, by leaving MPhil and PhD degrees, analysis and interpretation will be made by using statistical tools like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, ANOVA, and quite substantial amount of techniques that are available in the statistics that you use. In case of PhD and MPhil work, this statistical tools that you are going to use for the purpose of data analysis will be further more scientific and further more critical method that you are going to select. It all depends on your capacity, your zeal, your time, and your competency level of using the statistical technique for the purpose of analysis of your data. Then in the process of doing the entire thing, you have used some kind of a new concept, new area, and new definitions of some items that the reader, the examiner is not aware of. On such circumstances, you have to give small definitions of the new concept what you have used in you use it in the project under the heading operational definitions of the concept. And subsequently, every researcher will have a limitation. Every research is having the limitation. As a result of that, one is the time is the limitation. Number two is the financial burden is the limitation. And third one is we have to believe the respondent's information as it is. We don't have any mechanism to verify whether the respondents have given the correct information or not. Will not be made by an ordinary researcher in the process of preparing the project report. If you are competent, if you are strong, if you are statistically strong, you can select the hypothesis for each of the objectives. So if you have 4 objectives, 4 hypotheses, one is null hypothesis, another one is alternative hypothesis, and depending upon your capacity to experiment or solve the hypothesis or test the hypothesis, you are permitted to do. Otherwise, at the graduation level and the post-graduation level, hypothesis testing, most of the universities will not make this as compulsory. Then coming to the third chapter. What do you mean by third chapter? It gives the bird's eye view of the respondents, and it also gives the profile of the company. If it is a related case study, then you can do profile of the company. If it is a freelance project, you can tell the details of demographic feature of the respondents. Coming to the fourth chapter, it is a body of the research project. 50% of the total number of pages that you are earmarking here is 50% of what the total project is. If the project is 100 pages, you have to keep 50 pages for analysis and interpretation. The examiner, the market, the reader, the beneficiaries will concentrate more on fourth chapter because it is the real work of the researcher. He is going to write what exactly he has achieved in a span of 3 months or 60 days time. So therefore, according to the objectives, you write the analysis and interpretation. How to write the analysis and interpretation? First of all, you have to write the objectives and whatever the variable which will come under that objective, that you have to prepare the table, and immediately after preparing the table, you prepare the diagram or the graph, and below the graph you write your analysis, and after writing the analysis, interpret the data what you have presented and draw the inference accordingly. After writing the inferences, quite naturally each inference should accompany with the recommendations or the suggestion. That is how you are going to complete your fourth chapter by leaving summary of findings and recommendations to the fifth chapter. Now 4 objectives, so many variables, definitely will have so many recommendations if you have done the project very, very systematically and honestly. And in the end, you complete the project and write the bibliography, whatever the bibliography that you have taken for references, that you need to put here. A copy of the questionnaire should be attached, and whatever the balance sheet or any other document that you have taken for the purpose of doing the research, that you have to keep here after the 5th chapter. Now it is the format in which the project flows. Now as a student, how exactly I have to start my work? That is the biggest challenge. Now the moment when you start your project work at the end of the previous year and commencement of the next semester and next year, you have to keep in mind that I am a BCom student, I am a BBA student, I am MCom student or MBA student. In my lifetime, I should do 2 projects or I should do 3 projects. So the day one itself, you have to apply your mind, give too much of concentration on something I should give it to the society before I complete my degree or before I complete my PG. That will give a research bent of mind, intellectual thinking like type of mind to you, so that you can do your project very, very comfortably when you reach that particular stage. First of all, you select the specialization. You prefer to take the subject of specialization for the purpose of the research, and accordingly you select the title. While selecting the title, you please sit with the guide. He will be able to advise you, he will be able to guide you how exactly a topic is to be selected and how the objectives of the topics have to be written. You see, the research is like mathematics. First of all, the topic is very important. Immediately after the topic, you have to mention clearly the objectives of the study. And these objectives must correlate with the variables or the questions that you are going to make and collect the information from the market or from the respondents. And each variable or each question should be capable of preparing the table, preparing the analysis, and applying the statistical tool. And by applying such a statistical tool, you should be able to analyze, you should be able to inference, you should be able to draw the inference, and you should be capable of coming out with some kind of solutions and recommendations. That should be the logic in which the research is proceeding. First one is topic, second one is objective, third one is the variables, questionnaire, and questionnaire should correlate with the tables, tables should correlate with the diagrams, diagrams and tables should accompany with the analysis, and each analysis should be capable of drawing some inference, and each inference must give rise to come to the conclusion or recommendations or suggestions. So therefore, you have to concentrate more on selecting the topic, selecting the research problem. A well-defined problem is half solved. For that purpose, you should do the research. What do you mean by research? Research. Search again and again, and come to a stage where you can do the real project on hand. One of the most important crux of the scholar is, please take the original research project. Don't take the well-trodden path for the purpose of selecting the topic. You should select the topic in such a way, the research, there should be an ample scope for the research in that area. Well-trodden, well-done research area if you select, it will not be interested to examiner, it will not be interested to the society, it will not be interested even to the college authorities and to your guide. If you are taking the half-trodden path, there will be a scope for research, and researcher, guide, society will be eager to know that you are going to do something to the something concrete to the business line or economics line or in the public domain. Therefore, you have to focus more on the topic of the selection of the topic of the project report. Then coming to the finalization of the report, how to prepare the report. You have understood the entire journey from the first chapter to the fifth chapter. Now you have to prepare a standard format of preparing the research report, presentation of the report. Generally what we suggest is, if the project is to be prepared, we have to follow Times New Roman as the font size, and for the main heading we are going to suggest 16 font size, all capital letters. Side heading 14 font size, all capital letters. Paragraph wise heading, New Times Roman 12 is the font size and it is only the bold. 16, 14, 12. Both at the top it is caps, 6 to 14 also caps, and it is only the bold. It will give a uniform flow of your ideas, and it will be very, very interesting to read that project which is prepared very neatly and professionally. Coming to the finalization of it, first draft you prepare of the entire project, leave the project for 2 days. Don't do continuously reading and writing, analyzing and recommendation. At a stretch you complete all your process, prepare first draft and leave the project for 2 days and take a break. After 2 days, you please go back what you have done for the first draft. Again you read in the third day and improvise the first draft and prepare the second draft. After preparing the second draft, before you finalize this, you please take the project to the guide. You give sufficient time to him, about 3 to 4 days, to study what all you have made during the past almost 2.5 months to 3 months, and seek the guidance from him and incorporate all the suggestions what he is going to give at the time of finalization. My sincere appeal to all the scholars is prepare the draft in multiple copies. Standard uniform format you follow from the university or from the college, and you please stick on to the university regulations. Some universities are insisting you people to maintain the diary. Some universities are interested in pasting some of the or attaching some of the certificates for having attended this project guidance training program that you have to attach. And you have to see the starting day and the last day. Before the last day, you have to comply the requirement of the university, and you get the signature from the university, submit the copies to your college, and so that the entire project should go to the university on time. If you are committing any mistake, or if you are casual in the journey of this 60 days to 90 days project preparation, you will be in deep trouble. Generally 45 days time will be given, and if you are having so much of zeal and confidence in the research line after having studied 29 to 30 theoretical subjects, you have ample opportunity to take up MPhil program. You have ample opportunity to take PhD programs. Please continue your research program even after your degree. Now, after the completion of this, you will need to have examination, and in that examination, theory component is separate and practical viva component is separate. Now, the project itself will be evaluated in one side of the examination profile, and the remaining is viva. And in the viva, my suggestion to all of you is prepare PowerPoint presentations for all the chapters what you have covered in the project report. First PPT should be your introduction and the first page of the project, and subsequently you go for one by one on the basis of the chapters. For first chapter, you can earmark 2 to 3 slides. For the second chapter, research design, you please have 3 to 4 slides, which is very important. Maximum number of questions will come from this. Methodology is very important. Sampling is very important. Statement of the problem is very important. Objective is very important. Analysis and interpretation is very important. With these 5 questions, the entire originality of the project will be examined by the examiners. Therefore, you have 5 slides to this so that you can comfortably explain the process to the examination in the viva board. Then coming to the profile of the company, you can have 2 to 3 if there is not much to say because it belongs to the company, and the demographic feature of the respondents. The most important presentation is the 4th chapter presentation. Here you keep maximum slide for maximum number of variables which are classified according to the objectives. First objectives, second objective, third, fourth. Each of the objective must be supported by 4 to 6 variables, so that it will be a major crux where everybody will be interested in listening, seeing, and understanding the major crux of the project. And afterwards, you summarize the whole process of the journey of the project by giving findings and the recommendations. And in the fact, and you humbly thank the viva board, and you leave the viva board, you leave the platform to the examiners to ask questions. Even in answering the questions, they are going to observe your uniform, your ID, your hall ticket, your decency, your dress code, and your appearance, and your body language also will be observed by the examiner very curiously. Therefore, you need to take proper care and listen to your college guidelines, follow the guide's advisors, suggestions, and prepare such type of presentations. How much care you have taken for preparing the project, equal amount of care that you have to take at the time of presenting the details in the viva board. In the end, I wish everybody a grand success Let all our students take up the original research project. Let all our children come up with the live problems so that they will give their original ideas to find the solution to the existing problems, and the society at large, business at large, economy at large should utilize your knowledge, your brain, your qualification. All the best to everybody. Good luck.